Hi everyone, this is Taka International CPA. So today I'd like to continue the formula to business success in Japan. So some of them might not listen to my previous video, so I just repeatedly explain the 4 points for the business success in Japan. So at first, location is of course important in Japan. And second, cash flow. So you might know, so in Japan, so interest rate is very low, relatively low. So as you know, so a mortgage is very low in Japan. So cash flow, so the possibility of borrowing is relatively high for international people in Japan. So I just explained the cash flow, the importance of cash flow. The third point today, planning. The fourth is hiring. So this 4 point is really critical to make a success in Japan. So let me see. So today, so I'd like to explain how important to make a business plan to launch a business in Japan. So first, numerical target. So numerical target is really important. So numerical, what do you mean? So I'd like to say, so at first, let me see. We make a location, we decide a location, and we also figure out cash flow. So deciding how much we borrow or how much we collected at initial cost, initial cash at first. Then we need to figure out how much, how is the target, how is the kind of sales target, break-even target, where we can accomplish break-even point in making a business. So that's really important. So in this stage, so we need to decide numerical target. So that would be important. So because so in borrowing the money, so we need to show business plan in the term of 3 years or 5 years. In that case, so when we submit a business plan, of course the business plan is basically explained in figures. So where we can accomplish break-even point, how we can make a sales target, how we can make blah blah blah. So that should be expressed in a numerical. So numerical target is set at this point. Then later we set the purpose. So at that time, so we critically figure out our target in our business. But of course, it's a kind of image. It's just an image. So maybe I'm afraid. So the target is whether the target is linked to the reality. So at this stage, so we need to figure out the purpose. So why we decide to start our business? Why we decide to make a business in Japan? So in this stage, so I recommend you to have a time to figure out our purpose again. This would be really important because after the stage, so we should not come back. So we just focus on our success. So in this point, I really recommend we reconsider our initial purpose, our initial business purpose at this stage. Then we set a business plan later, like 3 years, 5 years, 2 years, etc. That will be important. Then I point out some kind of a business strategy to make a business plan, so I would say a SWOT analysis. Especially, I highly recommend you to have a kind of analysis for external environment. So SWOT analysis shows at first strengths, secondly weakness, thirdly opportunity, and fourth threat. Especially external environment, the analysis of external environment is really helpful because we cannot find out external environment. So, for example, in the case of restaurant, so nowadays a kind of so Uber Eats kind of delivery is really kind of getting attention from the people. But of course, in the case of restaurant, delivery service is really critical to make a success. And maybe, so for example, in the case of second-hand product, so we are also afraid of a kind of application such as Mercari and Yahoo auction, because the second-hand business, so this kind of C2C business would become a threat to second-hand business. So there might be a kind of external threat or external opportunity. Of course we might try delivery service of food, but they cannot make ourselves by ourselves. So we just need to figure out what will become our threat or our opportunity from our external environment. That would be really helpful to make a business plan at first. Then we can make a kind of overall strategy. So like 3 years, 5 years. So we set location, initial cash flow, figure out the borrowing, then setting a numerical target and reconsidering the purpose, including management salary, then set an overall strategy like 3 years, 2 years, 5 years, blah blah blah. So in this point, I also highly recommend you to have a hiring plan. So because human beings, employee will be a key of success, or to figure out the speed of expanding the business. That would be very critical to find out the timing of a success. So overall strategy would be critical in this point to figure out the business plan. So in this point, we can make a kind of 3 years business plan, 5 years business plan. Of course, it might be a kind of imagination, but that will be helpful in figuring out of a kind of our long-term purpose, or let me see, long-term target, because we already considering our business purpose at this point. Then we won't come back. Then set an overall strategy in a kind of long term. That would be very helpful. This would be the time of the business plan. So today, I explain a kind of business plan to make a business success in Japan. So in the last, I will explain a hiring plan. Thank you so much.